goddamn, ladies and gentlemen. I said, goddamn, ladies and gentlemen, we are here to cast a little bit of Hell Let Loose. This is the APAI tournament. Today's match on opening day of the tournament is between the FOCU side and SEVH. FOCU, obviously, the tournament amalgamation between my clan, OC, and the Foy Boys. SEVH is a Brazilian clan. Yeah, that's right. We've gone international. That's why we're wearing the suit, and I've gone with a green and gold. I think it goes okay. SEVH obviously is Sturmelite, Vaderland, Helden. My accent is terrible. Don't hate me for that. But before we talk too much, I've always got a good co-caster, and today is no goddamn exception. Let me introduce to you. This is CFUZZLED. He doesn't have a webcam, but Fuzz, I've got just one question for you. Are you goddamn excited for this match, my guy?
Oh, very keen for this match. I've followed SEVH for a while now in the season on the HCA, so I'm very keen to see them go up against FOCU.
Oh, hell yeah. Obviously, FOCU has done some very good things in the OCE community. And SEVH, not a clan to be laughed at. They've been absolutely crushing it as well. That's genuinely exciting. Before I go too far, though, I have a special comments guy on today. I'm going to introduce to you the disembodied voice of Maxim, friend of the stream, Maxim. I've got two questions for you. Firstly, are you having a good day? Secondly, are you keen to get into a little bit of Hell Let Loose, mate?
So first question, let me give you an answer. Great day. I've been watching a lot of matches today, especially 18 versus 18 a little earlier today, and then Knoppers with two U.S. teams, 10th Mountain and BHB. Really great matches. So basically, I've been putting off all my errands just to watch Hell Let Loose all day.
Errands are for suckers. Obviously, a day in watching nothing but Hell Let Loose is good for everybody involved. Maxim, pleasure to be here. Max is going to be modding the old Twitch chat and bringing anything that we need to hear about to our attention. But Fuzz is going to be running the second cam for us. Fuzz, obviously, you've put together most of this APAI stuff. Can you give us a quick tournament overview, a quick rundown of what the go with it is, my guy?
So pretty much it's just a kind of round robin for the start, and you move into a finals. It's 35v35. The reason for that is most of the teams participating can't field a full 50, so this is their opportunity to really go it along their own. For teams such as 10th Mountain and SEVH, who are usually part of alliances, and make a name for themselves, so to speak.
Yeah, hell yeah. And I think obviously I've been casting a lot of these warm-up matches for this tournament where the teams are just playing those 35v35, just sort of inter-clan or sort of local games that we've been casting. This 35v35 format, it's got legs. I like that. There's no restrictions. You can have three arty guns going constantly all match. You could have 5 to 7 tanks if you could field them. But I think the restriction in numbers has really played to that. Like obviously you could have 7 tanks, but you've got to take that many infantry to try and get them moving. I think it's a great format, and I'm genuinely excited.
100%. This kind of came out of what used to be the Greyhound Cup, which happened last year. Mainly an EU NA tournament. We saw that, liked it, loved the idea that you have to manage your players as a resource more. So it's not just the resources in game, it's now the players as well. So we brought it over here with a few minor adaptations to help the teams out.
Yeah, hell yeah. But yeah, we have seen every match that I've cast in the warm-up to this, every match has gone the distance. It's crazy. An hour and a half does seem to be a long time to be yelling into a microphone, but I do feel for the lads. That is an hour and a half of stress that these boys are under. Most of the clans are doing a lot of lead-up work into this. I know personally, obviously, I'm an OC man myself. Shout out to the OC lads that are playing today. I've been to about 4 different trainings today. I think I've run over, even though I'm not even playing, I think I've run over their truck routes myself at least 17 times this week. And just the little things like getting supplies down at the start of the match. Just little stuff like that. And I'm sure the SEVH team has been doing exactly the same. We're going to go with SEVH because obviously I'm not going to be able to say that What is it? What was it? Sturmelite, Vaterland, Helden. I'm not going to say that every time. So SEVH is what we're going to go with today. Good Lord. Just holding out a little bit of admin cam because I don't know about you, Fuzz. I love a bit of pre-match shenanigans.
As am I. Quite a fan of your pre-match shenanigans, having watched a few.
Somebody always puts down a satchel. There's always... I know that the Foy boys, known tankers, they love a tank in that clan. I know that they do have some weird pre-match tank rituals. I'm not sure whether it's some sort of mating ritual between a couple of heavies trying to see whether they can make a Stuart. I'm not sure what it is, but Fuzz, do you have any pre-match rituals that you go through before any match? Are you one of those? Yeah, go.
Usually for me as a squad leader, it's a balance of telling the guys not to team kill each other and then hyping the guys up, which usually means they team kill each other.
Yeah, dude, 100%. Let me stop. Oh, we don't need stuff highlighted. Oh, we can do some zooms. There you go. It seems to be pretty chilled so far. I don't know about you, but for me, my pre-match is all about just pointing guns at things in the distance and shooting at them. I don't know whether it helps, but that's my pre-match. Maxim, if you were playing a competitive match, I know you haven't played too much comp, but if you were playing a competitive match, what do you think your pre-match? Would you have one of those like the hockey players that wear the same pair of socks for every game, or would you? What do you reckon you'd do pre-match?
That's a good question. Probably I would have my squad line up in a circle with shovels and have a 1v1 shovel duel.
Oh, yeah,
and
absolutely.
then have everyone around just cheer.
Absolutely. Max, you're well aware, as of course everybody that's ever watched this stream, shovels are the new meta on this. Shoveling, having a squad that's purely doing shovels and never actually bring out their gun is the new meta in Hell Let Loose. People think it's rocket sniping. People think it's those long-range shots. No, not at all. The new meta, shovels. Max, do the knives work as well as the shovels, though?
There's nothing more satisfying than killing somebody in game, by the way, with a shovel.
No, I know.
So, one of my buddies earlier, 18 versus 18 match, he did end up knifing a guy in his kneecap, and I enjoyed it.
Literally kneecapping somebody. I fucking love it. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna jump into the old main screen. So we will see you guys after the match, hopefully for a little bit of a post-match interview with the teams. We'll see whether any of them end up filtering in. But let's go over to this screen because look at that. That is an APAI match cover. It's completely incorrect at the moment, although the blue guys are currently FOCU. They're not the Axis. Obviously for this match, the FOCU team will be playing as the Axis. And the SEVH lads will be playing on the Allies side. Just a quick word of warning. I do have... Fuzz has an admin cam, and we will be switching over to him when he finds something juicy for us to look at. The thing to remember, that whenever we're looking at Fuzz's cam, the red and blue dots will switch. So that is probably good to get your head around. But I'll call it out as much as possible so nobody forgets. God damn it, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, I'm fucking excited. I'm waiting for this map flip. I'm ready for this game. 12 o'clock, streams live, 15-minute delay. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, let's put a little bit of that action up. There you go. That's the teams that are playing together. If you're hanging around in chat, you're going to see that 15 minutes later. Or you're going to hear this 15 minutes later. Timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly bullshit. Fuck you, lads. Come on, get it together, boys. Just having a look. Let's run through who's playing on this. A little bit of NVS Beast, Hugh Janus, Zezu, Mirage, Crampy, Hot Sauce, Suicide, Kingsy, Gerberman. That's a hell of a tank crew. God damn it, boys and girls. Three Knees and Rooster, Mashy, Knackers, and Crash Marine. I do believe they'll probably be running a little bit of Artie for us. That's usually the way they do things. 17 Jaeger, Danger Klaus, Joby Class. I'm not going to read through them all, but you guys can see for yourselves. That is the OC Foy Boys. The FOCU team that's going to be playing today. CFUZZLED, your cam. Have a look at those SEVH lads. What I do appreciate, most of them have got fairly short names, so I should be able to call them out in-game. Let's have a look through who's playing. There you go, boys. SEVH team, both teams are in. All we're waiting for now is the map flip, and god damn it, I'm excited.
Oh, still waiting on a few SEVH players. Can't let them play with a few man down.
No, we wouldn't have that. We wouldn't have that. God damn it. Chat's already started up. Pariah, that's your job, Max. Answering, letting people know we're on a 15-minute delay, so they absolutely can't talk to me straight. Well, I can't talk to them. They can talk to me. I'll see it, but they won't hear me for a good 15 minutes. Genuinely, good luck to both of these teams. I'm really excited about this. I actually don't know how this one is going to go down. At all. I've seen very little of SEVH. I do know FOCU, and I do know they are a very strong side. Just interested to see how this plays out. Fuzz, you've seen a bunch of SEVH, obviously. How have they been going in the international scene lately?
So in the HCA and the first 2 weeks of the seasonals, they're partnered with a Argentinian clan called 501st.
Yep.
Don't ask me how it works because they speak 2 languages. They get it done. They're called ASA. They've been pretty good. I think they're third or fourth in their HCA pool. So they're
Oh, really?
they're representing South America proud.
All right, so this could be one hell of a match. Obviously, with
100%.
with these international matches, this is what we like so much about them, is you just don't know how they play together, how the different styles sort of interact as well. So, look, opening weekend, I'm sure people are going to be watching this very closely for their upcoming matches against this SEVH. And those international clans, I'm sure they're going to be watching this just to see how FOCU does things. Obviously, we know because we've been casting them for a few weeks now. This could go either way. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, I know that there's a prediction up there. Gamble away every single one of your channel points. Thank you very much, Max, for putting that up. I honestly, I wouldn't know who to pick. Hey, let's go. Come on, lads. Are we still waiting on the SEVH, lads?
Just waiting on confirmation for the map flip, and then we'll be good to go.
Excellent. Well, it's 10 points. That's a conservative bet to start with. It's a conservative bet to start with. There we go. 3 knees. Just putting some rounds down range. With the white helmet, obviously, the white helmet is a Foy Boy staple. He doesn't know it. He doesn't know it, but Soups No Rules is sitting behind him with a knife. He did look a little low. Soups pretty happy to back off then. That's fine. Ooh. You know what's been disappointing me at the moment, boys? Map's been changed. 30 seconds, and we're going to get straight into this match. God damn it, I'm excited. Oh, there's some of those... Well, that rocket didn't make it as far as I think he thought it might. You win some, you lose some. 18 seconds left, and we're going to get into this match. I'll spend a little bit of time at the start of the match. We're going to go over some of the pre-match stuff. I'll see if I can focus on the SEVH boys, just to see how their node build and their supply drops look. Obviously, we spend a lot of time looking at the FOCU boys and how they do things. Map's been changed. As soon as we get in, we're going to grab ourselves a little bit of admin cam. Fuzz, as soon as yours set up and ready to go, let me know, so I'll know whether I can switch into you or not.
Roger that.
There we go. We're going to grab ourselves a cheeky little armor squad. Lock it, because obviously that's what we need to do. And we're going to spawn in. We're going to go left spawn. Why? Because I can. There we go, boys and girls. Let's get over to the SEVH side. Let's see what they're doing. Genuinely interested. Get out to the beach and see what their supplies look like from an international point of view. There they go. The lads have started to spawn in. They're milling around for now. Not too many supply drops yet, but we'll see how that goes. There you go.
They got to get out of that water.
Oh, I know. I know. Every time spawning on the beach, I swear. There you go. Nice and early into the truck. We did see a supply lad drop it. There you go. It's Bill Tay, Dutrina, and Nick running up as supply, dropping the crates. Jeez, it is very polished from this team. That is the 75 medium Sherman pushing up there. Supply truck and the troop transport has moved off very quickly. Let's just move straight forward with Kingdom. Obviously, you see the squad leader riding out on the troop transport there. It's become fairly standard in this meta at the moment for the squad leads to move out in the truck, place down OPs, so the rest of their lads that are busy building nodes and dropping supplies can spawn on that OP and jump into that truck so they're ready for the start of the match. Match warm-up, 1 minute and 30 seconds to go. Oh, good Lord, Fuzz. This is your baby. APAI is your baby. Are you goddamn excited for this, mate?
Excited, nervous, you know. It's always good when something comes off. So once this match is over, I'll be quite happy.
Oh, tell me about it. Once it goes off without a hitch, you'll be absolutely happy about it. There you go. That's the engineer. He'll be putting down nodes. He's gone with the munitions node first. Always interested which ones they try first. And he's redeployed one node down. There you go. I'm wondering where the rest of the nodes are going to come from. I haven't seen too many, to be fair. Let's get over and have a quick squiz. Repair station. Now, why is... they do have that boat in front of the RD, but in terms of that, they don't look to be building up any RD defense at the moment. Always a bold move It is always a bold move on Utah Beach, given it's so open and so easy for Recon to take those long shots and take out RD. Match warm-up, 24 seconds. Let's get in. Let's goddamn get into it, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to scooch back over to the FOCU side. We're going to follow their trucks in, see how much success they have. Oh, god damn it, I'm excited. Let's go. There we go. First truck. They're going to take the main road. I wouldn't have picked that. Obviously, it's the easiest way to get in. I'm assuming they're probably going to move off that road just because of that threat of RD. The main road is the most obvious place for that RD to come in. Just before we get through, I'm just going to pull up the map momentarily so we can have a look at what points we're fighting over, Fuzz. And that's the tab button. That's the map button. The map, the points we're going to be fighting over from left to right, from the OC side, from the FOCU side to the SEVH side, is going to be Flooded House, Sunken Bridge, the Chapel, AA Battery, and Red Roof House. I'll tell you what, Fuzz, that is a very even distribution of points for this one. You'd be happy with that.
100% is, and it's going to pay dividends to the team who can control the map more. So if they can control this north side, it'll be, it'll be their match to lose, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely agree with that one. The Chapel, always a brutal point to be fighting over in the middle. If I'm not mistaken, that looks like the SEVH lads have managed to get over there nice and early. That is a big truckload of lads that are pouring into the point. There's some rocket snipes going in. That was a little bit short. Artie just a little bit late to be dealing with it, but this is going to be tough. This is going to be tough for the FOCU lads to push in and take this. Always a hard one trying to fight from there. Rocket snipe going out onto the RD there. I don't know how that's going to go, but we'll see. I'm not going to be able to see whether or not that's going to have any effect. It's Beefy Sausage, one of the first casualties of the war. Dracovax, Reaver and Three Knees, providing the bulk of the OC attack there. A few lads are pushing out to the north there. Obviously, if you've played this map before, you will know that this house that we're looking at here is a very crucial strong point. Fuzz, you've played this match as much as anybody in the world. Sort of controlling this area off to the north that we're looking at is very important in terms of being able to dominate Chapel.
100%. You really got to pinch the Chapel to get in. You can't just flood the middle. You need to be going north and south to get in.
Yeah, absolutely. Just towards the right of your screen, there is a lot of open fields around Chapel. And so what we're talking about is that house towards the bottom of your screen there. Wee, Renam. This, good Lord, he's just taking down Knackers. Mashy's going to move into support. Nope, he's going to be pushing behind them. Hopefully they've given him a shout out that the SEVH lads are pushing in behind him. Nope, he's gone down. Obviously didn't hear that one through the chats. Hugh Janus and Just Fierce, two big names in the OCE community, pushing in. Hugh Janus just going down. It looks like the bulk of the OC push is now going to be coming from the south. That other strong point towards the top of your screen, that little sort of town and group of buildings is another very good place to be pushing from Chapel. Because, Fuzz, there is that trench network that you can see in the middle of your screen there. And they'll be trying to use that to push back into Chapel and try and push SEVH off the point.
Yeah, pretty much. It's pretty much like a vein or an artery trying to get into the Chapel. You just got to be a bit careful that it doesn't get locked down by an MG or a sniper, because that can then prove pretty deadly.
Yeah, absolutely it can. There is a little bit of cover. Let's get down and dirty and just see what the hell we're talking about. So this is from the south, moving into Chapel, which is the strong point for the middle of this match. God damn it, boys. This is the trench network we're talking about. The biggest problem that Fuzz was talking about is there are a few good places for MGs to set up and try and cover this southern approach towards the north. And that's why we're saying you need that pincer attack. You need that attack coming from both sides to be able to take Chapel. Blue Rose Jelly, good friend of the stream there, is pushing up. She's a squad lead today and very well deserved. Cash Cow Clink is the support lad, just sort of holding his own there. Beefy Sausage pushing off towards the left. In the middle, Atuza, Napalm, Kingdom, Impresner, Gink, D Fritz, you are first. Thank you very much. Are you Night Owl, you are first. We're going to wait for that to finish before we keep talking about the game. Thank you very much. There we go. We're good. We're seeing a good fight over the middle of Chapel at the moment. Lots of rockets coming in. You expect that. That's the current meta at the moment. Rocket snipes and long-range tank shots are absolutely the meta in Hell Let Loose at the moment. There's only 3 SEVH lads left on point, and FOCU are starting to take it back. That push from the south has done them very well. I'll tell you what, that tank shot just took out a lot of friendlies. Pretty sure that's not what they intended, but they're going to keep going. What we were talking about before, this SEVH side has, they've started to dominate sort of that north area. FOCU are going to have to dislodge them from there if they're going to have any success pushing on Chapel. Netto Renham, Mashy's the last FOCU lad that's going to be defending up there. He's got Renham pushing the other side of the hedge there. He has taken down an OP. That's going to be fairly important. They will be able to hear each other. Hopefully they've got their earphones up. He's marked it as infantry. So Mashy going down there. Looked like a grenade, but I thought Renham shot him. Maybe Renham was just shooting at MVS Beach. Danger Klaus dying towards the top of your screen there. Renham turns out one hell of a player.
Huge play there. Wiping 2 OPs, 2 squad leaders. That's pretty much secured the north for them.
Yeah, absolutely it has. And he's taken down some very good OC players there. That'll put him in good stead to start holding this left side and stopping OC from being able to push out. I'll tell you what, the middle is a meat grinder at the moment. It's currently being capped by the OC Foy Boys team. Good lord. Beefy Sausage, Cash Cow Clink is... Oh, we just saw a mini spawn wave there. I'm assuming coming on off OP, but the artillery putting a stop to that. This is an absolute meat grinder. Detrina, Napalm, and Skyline starting to push on Chapel now. That's Mirage and Cash Cow Clink. They're going to be holding off this. Well, they're not going to be holding it off because that was a grenade taking out Mirage. Skyline and Napalm are going to start pushing in now. Cash Cow Clink's being a bit of a bushwookie. Just pretty content to hold towards the right side of that bridge there. He's going to have to have a look. He's taken down Napalm. That was very good play. He's being absolutely a human claymore at the moment. NVS Beast, Reaver, Beast, just as we say their names, obviously, that is the commentator's curse. They've both just been brutally murdered. Joshua Tree, Jacovax, Beefy Sausage, and Cash Cow Clink. God damn it, can they stop dying as soon as I say their name? Good lord, can you just stay alive for long enough? Thank you, lads. I appreciate it. Beefy Sausage and Cash Cow Clink.
Got a quick message from chat.
What do you got?
You're going to like this one, Stu. SEO Trot. He said, loving the suit, Stu.
Hey, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I feel like I'm going to get more formal as this tournament goes on. OC Foy Boys, the FOCU team, mostly capped this at the moment, but I can see this going back the other way unless they're able to get more numbers in. Oh, that artillery is absolutely doing some work for SEVH. Just while that's being taken, I'm just going to squeeze back, shoot back, and have a look at who's on artillery for SEVH, because they're doing some work. They've got a large amount of kills. That will be Paulo and Balotta. I'm going to absolutely mispronounce some of these. FOCU is just about to take this middle cap, unless SEVH can get more lads in, though. There you go. First point has gone to the FOCU side. SEVH, it is all on them at the moment to try and take this one back. Artillery, it is a goddamn meat grinder on the middle at the moment. Napalm going down. I'm assuming that was to NVS Beast there. Skyline's going to keep trying pushing in. Those lads... I mean, it is a juicy little OP that they've got down there, but which, as I say, it has just gone down to Renham. That was very good work from him taking that down and depleting FOCU's ability to spawn on the point itself. They'll keep trying to push back in. From here, Fuzz, have you watched a lot of FOCU matches?
I've watched a little bit, and what I do know is they enjoy their tanks. And seeing both mediums survive and now both heavies on the field, I think this match is about to start being very tank heavy.
Bombing run going in. Now that looks like the SEVH bombing run. Just trying to clear it up. They've got lots of lads on the strong point now. It is going to be incumbent on the FOCU team to try and push them off the strong point and try and stop this cap. The cap is still currently being held and defended by the FOCU team. Obviously, they just have numbers in the sector, which is probably what's winning it for at the moment.
Huge kill there by the FOCU Panther, taking out the 76 without a scratch on it.
Absolutely. That is delicious. And taking that armor off the field is absolutely going to be important. Please do shout out if you do see some of that stuff happening. Give us a shout out. I'm more than happy. We'll just switch over now. There we go. This is Fuzz's screen. What he's doing is looking at a bit of tank action, and he's going to be looking at some of the smaller stories. As soon as he sees stuff, we're going to switch over to him, and we're going to have a look at what he's seeing. Raid from Noppers. Noppers, I hope your raid went very well. Max, if you could type a little something in chat saying thanks to Noppers, I appreciate it. I hope he's matched well. He's just finished up with that America match that he just casted. Let's get back over to my screen and have a look at the middle point. What I was saying before about the FOCU team, they're very good at sector control. OC is absolute masters at it. What they'll be trying to do now is just trying to dominate the middle of Chapel, which is what they're struggling to do. But from there, they'll start pushing out and getting that sector control all around Chapel. I'm just going to have a quick look at the map. Whilst there's a bit of a lull in combat, whilst they fight over the Chapel itself, let's bring up the map. Having a look, there are Garys from the OC FOCU team. The OC FOCU team. OC Foy Boys FOCU team. We'll get there eventually. I promise I won't get names wrong like I did with the Emu War Veterans match the other day. But they've got Gary's up to the north and just north in F3 and F4. The F6 Gary is just down to the south, that strong point we were talking about in the house before. And they do have a good line of defensive Garys in the D column as well. Fuzz, can I just get you to bring up your map, my guy? And we're going to have a look at what the SEVH is working at. Thank you very much for the 20 biddies. I appreciate it, my guy. Fuzz, zoom in your map so that people can see what's going on. And let's have a look at what are SEVH working with in terms of garrisons.
So they've gone with a pretty solid defensive wall with their garrison. So they're not too aggressive with them. They're more on the defensive side, especially for AA Battery. They are starting to see some pressure up towards the north of AA Battery. So they're working on countering that right now, as you can hear the machine gun in the background.
Yeah, magnificent. I'll tell you what though, what they've done really well, and I've moved back to my screen now. There is one thing you guys do need to remember. Whenever we switch over to Fuzzle's point of view, the red and the blue dots will switch. So keep that in mind when you're doing it. But SEVH, as much as OC is pushed out and starting to use that sector control, SEVH still have the only players in the game on the Chapel itself. FOCU have been unable to push them out.
Yeah, they're resilient. I'll give them that. So
yeah,
I think they should be focusing their attention a little bit north, trying to split the attack and defense off, because FOCU have got a very organic line at the moment, which will pay dividends for them.
Yeah, Will, and we'll switch over to my map. This is what he's talking about. Basically, the FOCU team is starting to build that offensive line to try and make sure there are no gaps that the SEVH side can slip through. A lot of recon flares going up at the moment. That was the OC Foy Boys recon flare. So they'll be well aware that there's lads in Chapel. Just the one left. Napalm is the one left in Chapel. Taking down Reaver there. Jeez, I'll tell you what. He's got one hell of a kill streak. He has been doing some goddamn work, my guy. Napalm, I'm calling it early. One hell of a player. Towards the top of your screen, we're just seeing a little bit of a counterattack from the SEVH team. They're pushing in. Cash Cow Clink putting down the repair station for the tanks. Getting some more supplies coming in now. But FOCU, if the call hasn't gone out already to help with Chapel itself, they're going to have to close back in on that Chapel strong point itself and start to deal with this SEVH push that's coming in from the east, which is what we're looking at. Joby, that was Joby's rocket, completely ineffective. Viniprozen, Stigaro, Jutrina, Skyline pushing in from the north. Napalm, he's still alive in the Chapel. Napalm, he is a shoo-in, a massive contender for our man of the match. What we're seeing now is artillery request markers going in, just to try and cover that assault coming from there. Camo going down to Napalm. There we go. Cortex going down as well. Reaver going down to Netto. Good lord. they just can't dislodge them from the chapel itself. They're probably going to... I'm going to point it out that the OC Foy Boys team, they're going to need to commit forces. Otherwise, they're going to start losing this middle point, and they're going to start losing it soon. Whew.
So the prediction ended a few minutes ago on the stream.
Yep, what's the
win?
result?
Huge love, seems like, from OC Foy Boys
There you
viewers
go.
here.
There you
So
go.
the chat thinks they're going to win, so we'll see what happens.
There you go. Confirmed. Chat believes that the OC Foy Boys team is going to win. At the moment, though, this could go either way. There is a very strong push going in. Bill Tay, I want to see. Have a look at this. That is a tanker. Obviously, if he doesn't have a tank, he's going to run in and be an infantryman. Look at that. He's running forward with a pistol. Okay, the pistol is not going to help. The tank, obviously, doing his work. Kingsy in the tank. Is he a solo tanker? Kingsy, the solo tanker with the Panzer IV there. I do have a...
I think he might be in a bit of trouble there. Had to get out to defuse a satchel. One of his crew did.
Oh, really?
So now he's doing his own little fury moment.
Does he have the satchel on him still? I'm not seeing it.
No,
so
no,
he
it,
can defuse it?
Did get defused at the cost of one of his crew.
That's right. I feel like that's well worth it. Kingsy, pretty happy to sit in the gunner seat there. Pretty happy to just sit there and put some fire on. And he's mostly dealt with that SEVH push. And we were looking at other stuff, but it looks like Soups No Rules. Finally, the FOCU boys have managed to push into the chapel. And they've dealt with that SEVH push coming from the east, as I was talking. It'll be a combination of Kingsy sitting in his tank there and the artillery coming in just to thin out the ranks. Dutrina pushing from the right. Fuzz, can I get you to push over that next SEVH point up towards the north? And we'll just switch over to you to see what they're doing. Let me know when you're up there, and we'll switch over to your screen, my guy.
I was already up here, mate.
Were you? Here we go.
Yeah,
We'll switch
great
over.
minds think alike.
This is the point to the north. The point to the north that we're looking at is AA battery. Fairly light attack from the FOCU boys pushing up in the north of the map at the moment. All they really seem to be doing is just keeping the SEVH boys interested, making sure they know that they've got something to look at the moment. You can see there, in the middle of your screen is the red berries on Fuzz's screen. The blue berries that you can see are the defensive line for the SEVH lads. Obviously, Fuzzle, with this sort of backwards and forwards, the balance of offense and defense, what OC will be pretty happy to do is make sure that they've got their defense sorted and see whether they can commit a few lads forward just to put that pressure on SEVH and mean that they can't put their entire team on offense.
100%. And in this format where it is 35s, every life matters more. So if you can get even 6 guys onto a point, that might be enough to capture it.
Yeah, it could. I'll just point out, Maxim, are you aware of the old clown OP strategy? Maxim, are you there?
I'm not aware of that. Do tell.
Excellent. So the clown OP is part of the current meta. Basically, what it is, it's named after clown cars. As we see, that looks like that's a Panther. A Panther crewed by Jagdpanzer, Stanner, and 17 Jaeger. But where was I? Clown OP, basically what it means, named after a clown car, little car where lots of clowns get out of. If the offensive boys can get an OP in a very good position, what they're able to do is start kicking all the players from the squad. So basically the entire team can start spawning in on a very well-placed OP. And
I'm writing this down, Stu.
You're going to use that next? Obviously, it's notoriously difficult to get running in a pub match.
High risk, high reward too, because if that OP gets wiped, you've got 10 people who now have to find a new home.
Yeah, and it does mean pulling people off from other angles of attack as well. So if it gets pointed out early, and it gets covered, then it's very difficult for people to move over and start defense and or start pushing again. I'm just going to call out some of the FOCU lads that are pushing. Obviously, they're the offensive squads. NVS Beast, Just Fierce, Mashy, Sully Band. Hugh Janus is sitting back in that building up there with the machine gun. Rooster and Joshua Tree, they're just sort of hiding in a little foxhole there. As we move over and have a look at some of the SEVH lads, I'm assuming these are the defensive squads. Suakray, I'm going to mispronounce every single one of these, just so you guys are aware. Neto, obviously, we saw him on offense before, but it looks like he's moved back to the defensive side of things. Rodrigo F. Beta's moving off to the left, just sort of covering that left side. Not much action for him at the moment, but I'm sure that the FOCU lads will provide an angle of attack out that way at some stage. But FOCU, they're just pretty happy to put pressure on at the moment, it seems.
There is a small push from the south from SEVH onto Chapel.
Yep, I'm moving over and having a look at you now.
I've got a squad and a bit who are, commentator's curse just got absolutely murked. But we're starting to see them. Yeah, starting to see them push up from this garrison down here. So we've got a garrison, OP. Hopefully that OC can shut them down from here.
Yeah, and look, with that amount of infantry that started pushing up from there, basically squad chat and command chat will be going absolutely ballistic, starting to point out, and they'll have lads moving back to try and see whether they can find the source of that attack.
I am seeing a parachute. Are those supplies or is that an airhead? Which side was that?
I think that was a flare that just went up there.
There is a flare. I'm not seeing a parachute.
It was a red
right
parachute rocket. Yeah. They might be trying to make a flanking Gary.
But like you said, Stu, you immediately see this 3-man group led by Cortex come and shut them down. A good response there from those guys.
Yep, we'll switch back over to my screen. Nice and big. There you go. Sully Ban Hot Sauce. As soon as you said his name, obviously he dies. That is the commentator's curse. Go blue! Go blue indeed, Aaron. Lecter going down to probably Hot Sauce or Sully Ban. I didn't quite see who shot him that time, but Von Mac and Marcelo, they're providing the rest of the attack. Little move marker going down from Echo, Easy Squad there. So they're aware that something's down there, and they're going to try and push out and deal with that now. Whew. Good lord. Banger of a match so far. Fuzz, you'd be happy with how this is playing out so far, wouldn't you?
Oh, extremely. I any comp match is a good match in my eyes. I love competitive matches and, love getting them out to especially some of the more smaller clans who can use this competition as a building block to get into the 49s, some of the bigger stuff.
Yeah, look, absolutely. I'll just post in, I'm hitting my little Stream Deck button. There are the Discords I could get for some of the teams. Sorry, I couldn't get one for the SEVH Discord, but I'm sure if you search it up, you'll be able to find that. If you're in South America and you're keen on playing with some of those lads, get into it, boys.
Very strong push here by our FOCU. A little bit of combined arms. Got the infantry going in with the Panther for support, and we're starting to see AA Battery put under a little bit more pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. So just as I was pointing out before, the red berries is that push that we're talking about. Get nice and close in. We'll have a look. It's a little harder to see when I've got your screen up. But yeah, it looks like the next point is starting to change. It is going back to the FOCU team. Exactly what you were talking about. That combined arms push is absolutely huge and something that I think the OCE community is just starting to get their head around and just starting to work out what works. But by combined arms, what we mean is the ability of infantry, tanks, and artillery to work together to try and use each of their strengths and defend each other whilst they push forward and start dealing with that point. There you go, SEVH managing to push back and start defending there. I'm assuming bombing run going in. That's the FOCU bombing run. So there you go. The commander, the whiskey man for the FOCU team, laying in a defensive bombing run there. Moving back to my screen. There we go. NVS Beast doing some work there, going down to Rodrigo. Rodrigo, well done. NVS Beast isn't an easy player to kill. Big spawn wave going in from SEVH there. Can I just have a quick look in there? Is that an OP or is it a garrison? It looks like they've got just a cheeky little OP that they're providing them with most of their defense in the trench there. Tank is absolutely destroying them though. It's exactly what you were saying, Fuzz. Is that ability for them to bring combined arms in, have that tank on offense, is it's providing a fulcrum for the rest of the infantry to work off. Let me just get nice and close and see who's in that tank. I'm assuming that's going to be 17 Jaeger. No, it's Gerberman, Kingsy, and Suicide in that Panther there. That is a Panther if I'm not wrong. It looks like a Panther. Good.
100% correct on that one.
See, I did do a cast with Kingsy the other day, and I was legitimately nervous that I would get some of my tanks wrong. So I did, there's a bunch of them out there. You can find them on the internet, but you can, they're basically just tank quizzes. So I sat there and made sure I was going to get all my tanks right. So hopefully I don't get any wrong today. But Fuzz, you've got me covered if I do, right?
Oh, hopefully. My tanks are a little bit better, not the best.
It was really hard with the new update. Absolutely hard with the new update. But the SEVH, they've managed to get lots of lads back and providing a defense. We've got Cash Cow Clink, Hot Sauce, Just Fierce and Sullyban pushing up, seeing if they can provide that sustained pressure. So I can't see that guy's name because of he's dead anyway, so I'm not going to say his. FOCU is the most forward of their defenders at the moment. Sullyban doesn't know he's there. Well, there you go. The tank's going to take him out anyway. And we've got Joby, class of 66, is it? Or 69? I always forget which one it is. Pushing up around the rear, just seeing whether he can get that machine gun mounted. Oh, he doesn't have machine gun. I do apologize. He is an anti-tank, so he's going to try and get some rockets out. Or he's going to chuck some grenades first. There you go. Very good grenade. Nick will have heard that. Oh, going down before he got the grenade off. That's all right. If Joby keeps his head up, he's going to see Renham. There you go. Going down. This is a very good contested point from FOCU FUZZLED. They're doing a damn good job at the moment.
Oh, and that Panther just took out that 76 in the south there. Very nice shots from him.
Delicious.
I hate feeding Kingsley's ego, but that was a great shot.
I know. You and me both. I'm never going to hear the end of it.
Little message from chat. AU Night Owl.
Yep.
During the start of the game, he said 10 minutes in, no one's captured the neutral point. It's going to be a good game. And he's right.
Yeah, hell yeah. You know you're in for a good one if it's that hard fought over the middle point. Maxim, I don't know whether you don't play tanks that often, I'm sure, but are tanks supposed to be that much on fire?
I don't think that's in their owner's handbook. I think they would recommend against it. But one quick thing I would say, I love how OC Four Boys, when they took the middle point, they kind of just regrouped. They didn't push. They just made sure everything was all settled. They built their wall of garrisons, and then they started striking once everything was good.
Absolutely, and it's something you're starting to see once all these teams get organised. Bombing run from SEVH going in. It looks like they was trying to take down the Panther that's sitting on the side. The lad managed to get in before. It did take some damage, so I'm sure he'll get out and start repairing it again. I'm assuming that artillery is coming from the SEVH boys. Their shout out might have been just a little bit wrong because it's just a little short of the tank at the moment. Not quite on point for now, but this point, it's being taken by the FOCU boys. Big push coming from SEVH, coming from the top of your screen, and that's the south of the map. Looks like they might have taken some lads off defense to try and take back this point. Sullyban Nakajims, Mashy, Crampy, Cash Cow Clinks, they are pointing out that way, so hopefully they're aware of that push coming in. That push is Skylon Rodrigo, Von Mac. Von Mac, I think, is their commander. No, it's not their commander. He's a squad lead. What we haven't done is go over who the commanders are. So for the FOCU team, it is the Whiskey Man himself. Fuzzy. Who's the commander for the SEVH side?
It's a fellow named Leipzig, who is one of their, he's kind of like their leader, so to speak. I'm not going to try and pronounce his last name because it's got a funny B in it. I don't know how to say that. But no, he's a great lad. He's commanded well this game thus far.
Yeah, he's made some very good calls, and we've seen that. Very good use of the forces he's got. I'm just going to point out, FOCU have taken AA battery. They'll start spawning lads in, start doing some defense. That was a big wave that just got killed. They've marked up infantry coming from the south, which was what we were talking about before. Gorilla Dot's getting around the back. I don't know whether anybody's seen him. Jawsaurus just needs to look right, and he'll be able to deal with that Gorilla lot. You know what? He's an assault. I wonder whether he's the satchel class, and he's trying to work around and deal with that tank. Which isn't there anymore. That's all right. You can't win them all. Gorilla lot, at least he'll be able to... There you go. Going down to Q, Janus and George Saurus. Turns out they saw him. That is another Panther moving in. That is Jagdpanzer, Stanner, and 17 Jaeger in a Panther. That's a terrifying list of names to have in a Panther. Good lord. Whew.
So just looking at the FOCU push onto Red Roof House here.
Yep.
Already around Hill 5, we've got 3, 4, 5 squad leaders starting to make their way up. They'll place an OP and then they'll just be straight into the point.
Absolutely. And we've seen this a few times in comp lately, but they're just trying to provide that sustained push. Once you've taken that point that the enemy didn't think they were going to lose because they were able to spawn lots back and they had a good push going back into it, if you can have that immediate push on to the next point, then it's just that taking that first point provides a platform for them to jump off, keep the enemy on the back foot, and see if they can take the next point. I'm just going to switch over to my screen because there's a little something I'd like you guys to look at. What we're seeing now is look at that line from the FOCU team. Pushing out over the entirety of the map. It's what I was talking about before. FOCU are very well known for having that extremely good sector control, and that's what the rest of the lads are doing right now. What they don't know, however, and what I think they haven't probably accounted for, is if you have a look now, the SEVH side are just doing sort of a shotgun approach down the northern side of the map, and they're the red berries you're looking at right now towards the middle and top of your screen. They're pushing. What that is if they can spawn on the HQ there and start pushing forward, if they can shotgun straight into the point, then it basically nullifies all of that sector control that OC has down towards the east of the map.
Yeah, 100%. You know, it's very much, you know, massing your forces together and then pushing them through, because no matter how far the line is, it can only be so deep. So if they can get in, it means the line's got to collapse in on itself to help support the defense.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm interested to see if they SEVH goes what they do here. Like, do they try to airhead in the south, try to do a sneaky garrison flank?
Yeah, look, there's definitely options available to Leipzig. Deep Fritz, happy to just sit down there. I'm assuming he was the one that just took down Danger Klaus. It was probably one of the lads. Zezu might have taken him up from the top of your screen right there. Lots of options. So I'm with you, Max. Genuinely interested to see how they do this. Fuzz, can I get you to do me a favour? Can you push back and jump over the FOCU artillery, please? I just want to have a quick look at what's going on over there. But in the meantime, I'd just like to point out, very close rocket from Impresdino. Trying to take out that Gerberman Kingsley suicide tank. But that Panther absolutely did its job there. What it did was move up and move through the lines. Kingsley, obviously a very, very aggressive tank player. We've seen him play before. We've had him on stream. But what he did, he just helped Hugh Janus there push out and deal with that push that we were talking about. That shotgun approach doesn't deal well if it's infantry versus a tank. And Fuzz, are you back over the artillery for the FOCU boys?
I am.
Well, push over to your screen. Can you just shout out some of the lads that are sitting back there?
So we've got Rule 303 and Crashy, who are in tanks at the moment. Earlier on in the game, they were squad leaders. They have had a little bit of pressure from enemy recon. They've usually had one or two guys pushing them. So they've done quite well, and they've constructed their masterpiece. You know, art is subjective, so some might see this as an abomination. Others might see it as gold.
It's delicious. I was listening to because obviously as an OC member, I was watching some of the shout outs and some of the plans they had, and with an abundance, if the tank crews were doing well, there was going to be an abundance of fuel for the commander to use. So they did offer up some of their lighter tanks to the artillery lads to just sort of park them and provide a little bit of defense, and that's what we're seeing there. Is that our Panzer IV that's
so
parked in front of? Yep.
You got a Puma up the top, and then a P4, and they're just blocking in every way that they can right now to try and stop the recon getting in. Earlier in the match, there was a bit of a tank snipe that harped them, but just with those Belgian gates, they were able to block it as well.
Nice, and I think that's huge. Artillery and how to both snipe it and deal with rocket and tank snipes is huge in the current meta in the international and competitive scene. You see the guys, you'll see them day in, day out on the public servers practicing those snipes, just making sure they can get it right. And it means if you've got those rocket snipes and those tank snipes down pat, it means you don't have to commit a recon squad to deal with the artillery. It means you can just keep pummeling them and they can't get artillery out on you, which is good.
Yeah, it's an evolving meta, and what you've seen is people are now starting to block the tank snipes and all that, so they're starting to have to send recon again. So we'll just be this ever evolving kind of ecosystem between them.
Yeah, and I like that. Look, we've got such a good community in both Hell Let Loose, especially in the OCE community. Great bunch of lads. If you see any of the lads that are playing today, or if you see FOCUZZLED, he's often in pub servers. Give him a yell out, give him a shout out. Most of them are pretty happy to teach new players or just meet new people in the game. So give him a shout out, go, hey, squad up with them and come play with some of these lads that you're seeing play today.
Speaking of new players, Shirk from chat saying he thinks SEVH kind of invested too many resources capturing the middle point. They didn't invest in the flanks, garrisons.
Yeah, I completely agree with both you and Sherkle, Max. I feel like they did have a bit of an attack up the when we were looking at the north side. That's a fairly important house to push on Chapel. They did have a good attack out there, but I feel like it was just shut down really well by the FOCU team.
Yeah,
they had
it's a bit tough. Because obviously the north started off in FOCU's hands, then SEVH swept them completely. However, there was no pressure applied from the south from SEVH. So it was kind of, they could just funnel troops in from the south, while the north was still a little bit contested.
Yeah,
but he did say they're good shooters though, SEVH.
Oh, look, and we
Probably
saw that
one
earlier.
on one, they'd win any day.
Oh, we saw that earlier with that fight over Chapel. How long did that lad stay alive in Chapel and just murdering every bit of resistance that came in? Good Lord, I'm just going to point out, FOCU have just started to cap Red Roof House. Just as I say that and move back, the SEVH lads have pushed back and defended. It's Joshua Tree and Cash Cow Clink sitting on the strong point now. Skyline's pushing back, trying to defend. Skyline, he's been one hell of a player at the moment. Joshua Tree pushing in. He's just sort of happy to be a bit of a human claymore up in this house at the moment. We can't see in without enabling clipping, which I've completely forgotten what the button is. But Skyline just cruising around. Joshua Tree will be here and running around. Skyline, there you go. Skyline going down. And SEVH, big push to come back and defend Red Roof House, which is their last point. That point goes down, and that's absolutely GG. That was a good bit of pressure from FOCU. It gives SEVH something to think about. It means they can't put the lads on offense. Leipzig going down to Joshua Tree. That is the enemy commander going down to none other than the man, the myth, the legend himself, Joshua Tree. Kashgar Clink is being a bit of a bushwookie there, just sort of sitting in the bushes there. It looks like Leo Setter's going to come back and try and deal with him, just sort of sitting the other side of that gate. He's going to point down that way now. It doesn't look like he's seen him yet. There we go. Kashi finally going down to Leocta? Let's go with Leocta. My pronunciation of names is obviously and traditionally terrible, but sometimes I get them right. Very occasionally.
Yep. With those two players being supports, where are those guys spawning in for their attacks? Obviously, they can't be spawning, directly on the point. They're not squad leaders.
Unless the OPs have been taken down, my assumption on this one is that they've probably spawned in at either the garrison, one of the three garrisons. There's three attacking garrisons for the FOCU side. One in H7, one in which one is that? Oh god, it's just on the lines. I hate it when they do that. In G number 4. And the garrison's just been taken down, so only the two attacking garrisons. Oh, nope, H4, G4, and H7. I'm assuming as supports, they've just sort of done a little bit of work, pushed around, and just sort of finding those and probing those angles attack to crack this SEVH defense of Red Roof House.
Yep, just use their feet.
Yep. Which is good. There is a very high quality of player in this match, both from the SEVH side and the FOCU lads. Basically what it is each player has very good ability to figure out where they need to be and the best way to help out their team. And I'm assuming that's what we've seen. Is
we
a
do
couple
have
of lads.
an airhead bomb and run combo coming in on AA battery now for the SEVH. Let's see if it pays off.
I'm going to scooch over there and let's have a look at that. I'm assuming that airhead's been called out. So Beefy Sausage, also very ballsy, jumping under the airhead itself. Looks like he's just heard the bombing run come in, so he's managed to get clear of it. Beefy Sausage, we'll think one of those lads will push in and take out that airhead. I'll tell you what, 3 of them have. Soups No Rules is going to get it. Nakajeem's going to cover. Beefy Sausage is going to provide a little bit of support. Okay, he's going to run straight past, but that airhead is going to be absolutely ineffectual. Very good communication from the FOCU lads, but I do like the initiative from the SEVH commander. Just doing whatever he can to try and put some pressure on AA battery, whilst the rest of his lads have spawned back and tried to defend Red Roof House. Whew! Good lord, what a goddamn match. Max, are you enjoying this one so far?
I really am. It's interesting because SEVH, they've been doing good stuff, especially the 1v1s, 2v2s, but I think Foy Boys OC, they really have the combined arms thing going on, and they're very good at it, especially Foy Boys. But I don't know. I'm kind of hoping that this match doesn't end. I'm hoping that SEVH kind of pulls out.
No,
And
me
starts to
too.
do a flank.
So some of the plays and some of the shooting we've seen from SEVH, I'm fully expecting them to start taking back some points and start dealing with this FOCU team. We just saw Whiskey Man bringing up a half track to a AA battery just as a secondary line. I'll tell you what, they've started to put nodes up there. That is a ballsy move, putting some of their nodes on the most forward point that they've taken. But there you go. That is a manpower node being put down with a repair. Nope, it's a dead repair station. That's all right. Whew. I might just concentrate for the moment over Red Roof House because we are seeing some very separate lines of attack. SEVH pretty happy to push out towards the west from Red Roof House. Red Roof House is just towards the middle / top of your screen. OC Foy Boys seem to be committing most of their forces towards the left, which is the north of the map. They're the blueberries you can see, headed up by Joby. And a few lads over there. There we go. Hugh Janus and Just Fierce. They're pushing out. They obviously, the SEVH are well aware of the lads pushing there, and every single one of those FOCU lads being brutally murdered by the SEVH boys. Good lord. Sector control. It's exactly what you were talking about before, Max. They do have their last point, and before they're putting pressure on AA, they're just pushing out, seeing whether they can control some of the strong points around the point. And that's what we're seeing. There's a good bunch of red berries, which is the SEVH team, in the middle of your screen, and just sort of controlling that hill. I can't for the life of me. That's a strong point, but I can't for the life of me remember what that strong point's called. Any 5. Of you lads? Hill 5. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And that's why I have co-casters, because I can't remember everything. Hot Sauce moving up. He's going to take out Redinho. Zedinho? I'm terrible. Skyline. I'll tell you what. Skyline has been in and about nearly everything we've seen from the SEVH. Very good contender for our man of the match from their side. Blue Rose Jelly just going down to Miope there. Dracovax, George Soros, Camo are going to keep pushing up. Dutrina's going to take out George Soros. Oh, that might have been Kingdom. Napalm, that was the lad that we saw nice and early in the church. Cigaro and Viniprosen, they're going to keep pushing up. The fight is over this Hill 5 at the moment. Obviously, they've identified it as a strong point. It is a very strong point to be pushing on Red Roof House from. So, OC Foy Boys want it, and the SEVH team want to keep it. Don't mind me. If I talk too much, I clearly need to take a drink. But what we were talking about before, have a look at this line that's developing from the FOCU team. It's nice and wide, and the benefit of that in a competitive Hell Let Loose match is what it means is that you can provide that fairly diverse angle of attack to basically attack them and not give them anywhere to truly push that pressure point for your team. So it means that there's information coming from across the entirety of the map, and it gives them the ability to, the squad leads to point out where most of the enemy infantry are coming from, request support, and put pressure on where it's required.
Exactly, yeah. I'd love to see SEVH kind of flank from the south, but, I mean, Foy Boys OC, they set up a wall of Garys, but that can only do so much. To have bodies strung across, like, all the map, then you get live information. You know where they're coming from. You can see parachutes dropping. You can see supplies dropping.
Yep, just bombing run coming on from the FOCU lads. Obviously, that hill was identified as basically where the bulk of their team was. So very good bombing run. Bunch of kills for the Whiskey Man there. But we did just see some lads spawn in, so wasn't able to take down their spawn point. A Kingdom, yep, there you go. Pop's taking down that, and he's going to be able to take down that OP. That's going to be absolutely crucial. Very good play from Pops there. Bill Tay is going to start moving in from the right. Spawn Wave coming in from the middle there. Is that a Garrison or an OP? That is an OP. Cigaro and Skyline spawning in there. And going to continue that defense that we were talking about of Hill 5. We are seeing, just as you called it before, Max, we're seeing SEVH push out towards the south and try and deal with this FOCU push that was coming from the north. And that's what we're talking about. The blueberries towards the top of your screen. The red berries in the middle now.
We are starting to see a little bit of a push from the south from FOCU as well. Swinging the Panther from the north down to the south. to see if they can break in through there.
Yep, switching over to you now. That's the Panther that Fuzzy was talking about. Charmer, welcome, and welcome everybody else that's joining the Twitch chat. It is a goddamn pleasure to have each and every one of you, each and every goddamn one of you. You're all amazing. I appreciate every single one of you. There, I've said it. Nobody can ever take that away from you.
I have the feeling that they're trying to neutralise the SEVH tank snipe onto their arty here, which is just over there.
Right, it is, and well, just as you called it, Fuzz. Tank snipe neutralized.
That was like a Michael Bay action shot right there.
100% it was. I love a bit of spectator cam zoom. Switching back now. Bit of a push coming onto AA now from the SEVH side. It looks like they've decided that Red Roof House is nice and secure, and they're able to put more of their lads back on the offense. Let me get nice and close, and that's what we're talking about. Just pushing out along the south of the map, and I'll tell you what, I don't know whether FOCU has got back and dealt with this as well as they probably could have. That said, yep, go ahead, Fuzz.
They did successfully neutralise some of the push from Hill 5, however they didn't get the garrison there. So although they're blocking it out, if their attention gets shifted elsewhere, that front can reignite once again.
Yep, and I think the real danger with this is if they're able to take that Hill 5 and continue the push from there, their lads going down south that we're looking at towards the left of your screen right now, they're going to open up that sort of secondary angle of attack, and AA Network could be in a little bit of trouble for FOCU. They've committed a lot of forces to the outlying areas. They've only got Kashi and Soups No Rules. Kashkar Clink and Soups No Rules sitting on the point at the moment. George Soros is fairly defensive, but he is pushing out as well. So if they sort of do what we were talking about before, that combined arms and bunch everyone up to start pushing on the point, they could be in a little bit of trouble.
And speaking of trouble, that Panther's now focused in on Red Roof House from the south there.
Yep.
You know, having a Panther on the beach is never good for the Allies.
No, it's not. But look, that said, it is fairly easy. It's fairly exposed there, so it isn't too hard for the SEVH lads to start spawning on some of those HQ Garys and getting in behind it. It is a dangerous spot for the for any tank, let alone a Panther. But I'm just going to zoom in and have a look at who is in that tank.
And so Mark's flying down on that Panther. They should know where it is. However, I think the Panther knows where the medium tank is for the Allies. So a little bit of cat and mouse here.
Oh, I love a bit of tank action. I always get accused of focusing too much on tanks on cast, but the reality is tanks provide a fulcrum for the rest of the team to push off. Tanks are a strong point where perhaps before you wouldn't have one. So and that's why we tend to focus a little bit on the tank action. That said, it's been all about the infantry this match. Let's jump back over here to my screen. A little bit of a push coming from Joby and Nakajim towards the south of the map onto Red Roof House. Danger Klaus, very deep squad leader down there. Repurpose. Literally, as soon as I said her name, she's gone down. Probably to D Fritz there, I'm going to say. But Repurpose, one of the best recon players in the OCE community. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong, gents.
And just to deflate some tanker egos out there, that Panther just lost to that medium allied tank.
Ooh,
just take the wind out of their sails. Yep.
Well, look, very good tanks coming from the FOCU side. Foy boys love a good tank, don't they? But nope, they've lost to a medium. A whole class of tank below them. And look, I did have a look before. They did look like they were struggling. They were out in the open. So, you know what? Well done, SEVH, and well done to the SEVH tankers. Fuzz, can I get you to zoom in and tell us who is running that tank squad in the medium for SEVH?
It's a two-man, so you've got Pardo and Biasar, something like that.
I know. How hard is it pronouncing names, especially in international casts? But
100%. It is also to note, it was a two-man tank crew to a three-man tank crew. So even more raps there for the SEVH guys.
Yeah, well done, lads. And bad luck to the FOCU tankers. Two-man, whole class of tank down, and they got destroyed. It's basically, at the moment, we are still looking at a fight over Red Roof House. Very strong defense, and a very deep defense from the SEVH lads. They do have a little bit of a push out towards the west, which is what we're talking about before. But if I'm not mistaken, it looks like FOCU has managed to take down that sort of strong point that they were creating over on Hill 5. Can I just confirm, Fuzz, have they taken down the Gary there? Are there any spawn points left on Hill 5?
That they have. Hill 5, all the way between AA Battery and Hill 5 is clear.
Excellent. What I might get you to do, can I get you to pull up your map and let's just see what spawn points they're looking at the moment. There we go. SEVH. This is the SEVH map. So what spawn points are we seeing from the South American lads?
So SEVH, you've got one smack bang in the middle of Red Roof, and then one down to the south, perhaps to facilitate a southern push. And then looking at OPs, they're just interspersed along the front line, somewhere around Red Roof. So just a very generic push. A little bit of a lull right now in the battle, so it's just about finding where the enemy is and resetting your lines.
Absolutely. I'm going to switch back over to my screen. Let's do a little bit of action. This is the OC Foy Boys map, the FOCU map. Good spread of Garys. Obviously, very defensive. Being 4-1 up in one of these competitions, you very much want to keep that sector control and keep that defensive line to basically make sure that at some stage the timer will get low enough that you can't lose. So the Garys we're looking at is there's one bang in the middle of AA Battery there, one in G4, one just to the west of that Hill 5. This area here is that Hill 5 strong point that we were talking about. And that's in G5, and a good line of defensive Garys. Not so straight, but I'm assuming what they've done here is just found some strong points that if they need to fall back and spawn on then, they'll be able to do it. And the important thing to note with that, in that F column, should AA Battery go down to the South American boys, that line of garrisons will they will remain up. They won't get changed in the flip. And a good thing to point is there is a half track sitting in the bottom left of G3. So plenty of spawning options from FOCU, and this has been very, very strong from them so far.
Yeah, especially not only the garrison wall, like I was talking about, they just spread manpower all over the whole line so they can react to whatever happens. If they try to flank, they always have guys there. Yeah. And another message from chat, Jimmy the Hand, 0-1. Haven't seen Fiercey for a while. Great to see. There you go.
I know. Obviously, Fiercey, one of the leaders of the OC clan, and a genuinely good bloke as well. So hopefully he doesn't watch this cast, so he doesn't get too big ahead. But yeah, one of the stalwarts of the OC community over here. I'd just like to point out, AA Battery is looking a little bit dicey at the moment. It might not have looked it because of that OC sector controller we're talking about, but Dracovax and Blue Rose Jelly, a little bit of a spawn wave going in there. That's going to be Cashy and Soups No Rules. It looks like SEVH is just sort of gearing up for a bit of attack from the east of this point. Just getting themselves settled for the moment, and you'd expect them to try and push. The biggest problem they're going to run into, though, is there is a lot of open field coming from that eastern side. Isn't there, Cashy? Isn't there, Fuzzy?
100%, and this is where, the call needs to be made, in my opinion, to a recon squad. Hey, spend 5 minutes, get us a flank garrison up, we can't get across these fields. So it's pretty much just like teleporting across it. There's no danger at all.
Yeah, I completely agree. We're looking at the enemy commander now, Leipzig. Geez, I'll tell you what. There is no FOCU support over on this side. He won't know this, but unless somebody looks across this way, he's just going to be able to get across. Having the enemy commander is something on your strong point is something we saw during that the last FOCU versus 3 para match, where Airborne Kiwi managed to get onto their strong point. Nobody saw him.
Yeah, the commanders usually are more of your higher skilled players, and they're very wily about getting their way in. I've even seen in some matches that the commander will be sitting in the enemy's HQ, calling out tanks as they roll in.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Oh, good lord. Tell you what, I think this is a bit of a chink in the armor for the FOCU team. That they've allowed Leipzig to get this far back. Nobody's looking at this. Oh, it looks like there was some machine gun fire dropping just near him. Somebody's trying to shoot him. He has been seen. So OC Foy Boys will, I'll tell you what. I don't know how they've done it, but the SEVH lads just started to take that point then. just as the FOCU boys have started to take Red Roof House. There was a bit of a cap race on, though. Can I just confirm, was that an airhead that just went down over AA?
That was, but I don't think it'll matter. The FOCU guys have got a very strong grip on Red Roof House right now.
Let me push over back that way. Let's move back over there. Oh, God, you are absolutely correct. That push from the fight, we did miss it because we were concentrating over the other side where there were a few gaps. Gorillot? I don't know how to say that one. Is the last of the SEVH lads that are on the point. This is going to take some doing. That is a Panther from Kingsy's Suicide and Gerberman on point. It's halfway capped. That is the last point. Halfway capped. SEVH they've got some work to do here, boys.
100%. Now's the time to throw everything at the wall and see what sticks.
Look, absolutely. They're going to need to get some lads on point, but I don't think they're going to be able to do it. I can't see. Do they have any spawn points that they can push back on? Push back onto Redwood?
Their closest spawn point's about 400 meters away. I very much think this will be a GG.
I think we can almost call it, but this is going to be GG from FOCU lads. That push onto Red Roof House, I'm assuming that came from Chapel. I wasn't actually too aware of where that happened because we were focusing elsewhere. But good lord, this is going to be GG. What a fucking game for the opener of the APAI. At 5-0.
We do have a bombing run come in, but I think it's going to be too little, too late.
So a little bit of the late bombing run coming in. Hopefully we get to see that before the the victory stream comes up. There you go, a little bit of a late bombing run coming on from SEVH. It has taken down some of them, but I don't think it's going to be enough. This game's going to go the way of FOCU. Good lord.
What a crazy game.
That was genuinely insane. I'm going to give my update to Kingsy because he was up the top of my list. What I'm going to do, before we jump into our post-match screen, I'm going to just scroll through some of the scores so you guys can look back over this and see who did super well. Some very big scores there for the FOCU team. Good lord. There you go, there's that one, and we're going to have to get some experience. So I'll start moving through the SEVH scores, and we'll finish that off as soon as we've finished giving myself some experience, because clearly I deserve it for that match. My tanking was absolutely supreme in that match.
You did great. One last message from chat, AE86ER. He said Hugh Janus is his favorite player, and I'm guessing that's his legal name, Hugh Janus.
It absolutely is. He is one of our OC lads, and yeah, absolutely. That's what's on his birth certificate. So we're going to go. This is the point where I normally tell you to get your face on. So, no webcam on Fuzz. Good lord, boys. 5-0 to FOCU. That was one hell of a match. Fuzz, did you enjoy the shit out of that?
I did. That was quite a good match. I am a sucker for a nice little tank battle, so I am satiated after that.
Yeah. Magnificent. That was delicious. Max, did you enjoy that? A little bit of international Hell Let Loose competition?
That was amazing to watch. I hope that both teams just go back and review the film, as cheesy as it sounds. But
yeah,
kind of like, learn from it. There's stuff both teams could have done better, but both teams did well. So
yeah,
it was a
absolutely.
great match, though.
And like, I want to take absolutely nothing away from the SEVH lads. That was very well played. The fact that middle point, I think somebody pointed it out in chat, but that middle point was untaken for about 10 minutes. That's insane.
If that could have been the fight the whole game, that'd have been an awesome match.
You reckon the whole game, all we do is fight over the middle point? I feel like I don't think I've ever seen it happen, but the standard of all the teams that are in this APAI competition, I think we could potentially see it, and I'll be looking forward to it. We're just sort of waiting now. I do have a standing request for team captains from both sides to jump into the server. So we'll give them just a little bit of time, see whether we can do a quick little post-match with them. But it doesn't look like any of them have found their way in this time, which is a little disappointing. But look, you win some, you lose some. Fuzz, you've got to be pretty happy with the way this tournament has started out for opening week, my guy.
100%, man. I'm going to be excited reviewing some of these games, looking over them and, seeing all the highlights and, I don't know, maybe put together some highlight reels. I'll have to tease you with that.
I'm looking forward to it. You've got a hell of a media thing going there. Fuzz, obviously, it was a little last moment jumping into the stream. So can I just say, very well commentated, my dude. It was an actual pleasure to have you.
Thank you very much. I've put the casting call out to see if the team reps want to jump in with you. We'll see if they respond.
Yeah, I had a few DMs going on. Some of them have jumped into the Discord earlier. I think Leipzig, the man you were talking about, has already joined up on this Discord. But interested to see. There's only so much shit I can talk post-match before we get the team captains in. Look, I think the point you brought up during this match, Fuzz, was that combined arms, especially that push onto AA Network. That was huge.
Combined arms is what wins matches. Either it's an absolute roll because you've planned well at the start, looking at the games like Chimera Easy and some of Core's matches in the past, where they just outplan and outplay their opponent. But really, combined arms is what takes most of the points. It's your tanks working together with your infantry, working together with your artillery, working together with your commander.
There you go. I'm just going to point out my man of the match for the FOCU team, just because I know he's just jumped into the transfer room. So Kingsy from the FOCU team. Before I drag him up here, though, I want to say, oh my God, I'm never going to live this down. My man of the match was Kingsy for the FOCU team. His ability to get that tank into offensive positions was absolutely on point. There you go. Man of the match, Kingsy. Please don't anybody tell him that I said that.
Hopefully he's not listening in.
No, I know. Good Lord. SEVH, we've got to pick a man of the match there. It's always a little more difficult for the losing side. But for mine, my man of the match for the SEVH boys was Skyline. We saw him in and about nearly every bit of action we saw for like the entirety of that match. Skyline was a part of it.
Yep, Skyline was in there all as a squad leader as well. So he's enabling 5 other blokes to do their job.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, I've got Kingsy in the transfer room. Boys, I'm going to drag him up. Hopefully we see a representative from the SEVH boys, but let me drag him up. There we go. Kingsy, welcome to the post-match, my guy. Can I just start by saying congratulations, Kingsy?
Thanks, Stu. And thanks for Sev for playing.
That was one hell of a match. I just want to say all credit to those SEVH lads. Hey, mate.
Yeah, it was a wicked game. They did really well. It was enjoyable to play.
Congratulations, 5-0. That is a banger start to the APAI. Were you expecting that to go that well?
To be honest, no. I thought it was going to be just a constant battle over Chapel, but once we pulled up Chapel and then slowly our teams just pushed them back to the next point, and that was it. We just started trugging along.
Yeah, look, I was absolutely agreeing with that. That middle point, I don't think it got taken for the first 10 minutes. Chat was telling me that's huge.
That was a lot of back and forth. I think we just got lucky with that our recon car spun up the back of their tank and kept them busy and let our infantry push in whilst I was just shelling point. Everyone did really well. We just took the cap and it was awesome.
I'm sure you'll look back over this over the match footage later, but one of the even after you took Chapel, there were SEVH lads inside the chapel itself for a good 10 minutes after you capped. Were you guys aware of that? Was that being called out?
No, I think it was a recon or a flare pop over when I was sitting in our dummy tank, and I saw infantry there. I was like, oh, well, they're not doing anything about it, so I'll just stay here. So.
Yeah, I feel you. All right, we'll wrap that one up. Once again, Kingsy, congratulations, my guy.
Thanks, Stu, and thanks, Sev, for playing. It was an awesome game, and look forward to the next one.
Oh, you and me both, brother. I think I'm playing for us next week, so I'm looking forward to that. I don't think we're going to get a rep from the SEVH side, but that's disappointing. Maybe we'll sort it out a little earlier next time. So I'll run through and say thanks. Thanks, Kingsy, for joining us. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Not a problem. Maxim, dude, running chat for us, doing special comments. My guy, thank you very much for joining us. It has been a goddamn pleasure.
No worries. It was a good game to watch.
One hell of a game to watch. Oh, dude, it was massive. And you're always...
I have my notebook out, writing down strats.
Oh, hey, wait. Before we go too further, I've just got Leipzig has just joined the transfer room. So I'm going to drag him up and we'll do a bit of a post-match with him. There we go. Mr. Leipzig, welcome to the post-match screen, my guy.
Thanks, man.
Can I just say, just before I jump into some questions, that was very well played by your lads. I know not coming away with the win this time, but Jesus, some of your boys can play hell let loose.
Yeah, man. Was a tough match. We we didn't play as our own clan has like 1 year almost. Yes, since since the beginning of the year. It's like 10 months
Yeah.
that we don't play as just said, and we testing many new guys. So is the for like half of the team is their first competitive event they are participating. So
Well, I'll
we
tell you.
still
Yep.
working. Yes, we're still working a lot of stuff with
You guys
them.
are great though.
Yeah,
Oh, thanks.
dude. If that was some of their first competitive matches, Jesus Christ, some of your lads played so well. That was an absolute pleasure to watch, my guy. That middle point, especially. I don't think it got capped for a good 10 minutes.
Yeah, the midpoint. Uh, the guys could, I believe the guys could reach there first. We
Yep.
had some problems with the garrison making, but at all, the opening was 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 good. Was not bad, but we failed in sustain
Yep.
mainly with the help of the tanks. Most of our tanks are guys that some are new, some others are they don't play have a long time, so they are very no, they're coming back, and
Yeah.
they for the next matches they gonna improve and they gonna show what they really can do.
Yeah, absolutely. And just from what I've seen during this match today, the FOCU team that you've been playing against, they're fairly strong in the OCE community. So it was a tough match for you guys to jump into.
Yes, for
And
sure.
just from what I've seen today, I'm genuinely looking forward to some of your matches. I'm going to be following SEVH because that was one hell of a match, and I'm looking forward to the next one you guys get to play, mate.
Sure, man. Yes,
Mate,
they did great. To be honest, they did very great. I I saw their movement on the map, a lot of stuff they did, and was well executed and much very well. Was great.
yeah,
They
exactly.
they're for sure a great team.
Can I just
Yeah,
point
you
out?
guys had some good shooters.
Yeah, hell yeah, you did. Can I just point out, I did call a man of the match for your teammate. Skyline was your man of the match for your team. He was in and about just about every bit of action we saw. So congratulations to that guy.
So yeah, Skyline is a great player. He's one of our best squad leaders. He's long time with us and he's great, man. These guys, he was in the G4, if I'm not. Yes, he was in G4.
Yep.
So yes, that squad is one of the our most veterans players was there today.
Yeah,
He won
absolutely.
in G4.
We'll wrap this one up if that's okay. Thank you very much for joining us. Bad luck, my guy, but
Thank you, man.
I'm excited.
I'm too, man. It was a great game. The guys played very well. And let's look to the future to see how we how we can deal with that and to see how how the next match is gonna be.
Absolutely. I'm going to be following you guys very closely. Thank you very much. I've already said goodbye to Maxim, but Fuzz, can I just say, last minute jumping in as a co-caster, very, very well done. And thank you very much for joining us, my guy.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, and Kings in Leipzig, great game to open the APAI for both of you guys. It's an absolute pleasure casting it.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for playing. Leipzig was an awesome game as well. Enjoyable.
It was great, man. You guys did great, man.
You too, man. We're looking forward to seeing how you guys go in the continuing within the APAI.
Sure,
Magnificent.
sure.
we're going to wrap up this cast. That was the APAI opening weekend match between FOCU and SEVH. One banger of a match. The result did go FOCU's way, 5-0. So very big, very, very strong match to start this one for them. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for everybody that's jumped into the Twitch chat. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks to Fuzzy, thanks to Kingsy, thanks to Maxim, and thanks to Leipzig. You guys are all amazing. We're going to wrap this one up. Stick around. We're going to raid somebody in the Hell Let Loose community. Hopefully there's another match still going, but we'll see how it goes. I always end every single one of my casts by saying, ladies and gentlemen, look after yourselves. If you can manage to do that, see if you can't look after somebody else too. I'll see you next matchcast. And you know what? I'm going to goddamn look forward to it. Take care of yourself. Bye, guys.